we had a case where we had an African-American guy who was a fan of mine. Great fan, great guy. In fact, I want to find out what's going on with him. You know what I'm, look at my African-American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So
you got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Yeah, neighborhood in Pussy. Giving a shout out right now to SPR in the streets. Y'all already know what it is. Schwarzenegger. It's neighborhood in Pussy. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
All that and then some to the income. Hit the YouTube streets. Find a corner and bend one. Pull up on none other than Officer Tatum. I'm shocked. I don't know why. I didn't assume. I feel like my algorithm is so personal. I'm thinking I'm the only person over a period of time in our community growing irritated by his character, his personality, his cooning, and his bootlicking. But it's refreshing to realize I am not the only one that's been aware. When you be out in the world doing things that the world considers sophisticated and you're dealing with people that are not like us, non-melanated, you got to be careful because they be slick and I remember realizing a few years ago, people will, from the outside of our community, will bring up this guy and compliment him to kind of test the waters with you. That's one of their ways of being racist. Or they'll bring up them two big buff black twins, the Oreo dudes. I can't stand them either, man. I think they're three of a kind, this guy and them. So when I seen this title, I said, well, it's about time. O'Shea Duke Jackson doing the heavy lifting. I'm going to be his co-host in this reaction. But with no further ado, let's see what they say. Officer Tatum and the conservatives have been up to.
Officer Tatum finally receives his wake-up call. Video by O'Shea Duke Jackson. All right, let's go ahead and check this out, man. How many wake-up calls does one man need?
The Officer Tatum YouTube channel is ran by Brandon Tatum.
Oh, my mom, I thought this was a direct O'Shea Duke Jackson reaction. That's what I intended to do. We're going to give this brother some shine, man. Let me get his name real quick. That's crazy. Let him get some tick in the black box. Because I could just stop it and go get it off of O'Shea Duke Jackson channel. But this is Young Don Reacts. Young Don Reacts. Well, he do not need a shout out from me. He's doing quite well on his channel. But Young Don, D-O-N, Reacts. Let's go.
He's from Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
After graduating high school, he was an All-American football player and went on to play at the University of Arizona, after which he became a police officer at the...
A lot of times you hear Arizona, black people, you got to know the key words. My father moved to Arizona over 20 years ago. And from the time he been there, he told me how pissed off he used to be and how he learned out in public. Don't be nodding saying, hey, what's happening to the black people? They gonna walk right past you. He been got out that habit. We just generally, especially away from our area where you gotta be more on point, head on the swivel. We get outside our area, we don't see us that often. It's just natural in us. We see just nod, what up, bro? Just like at my job. Large space, when you come across a brother, typically you tend to nod and just show some recognition. Arizona, don't expect it. Oh, my mama. Kind of like in New York. If you ever walk the streets in New York, California, we kind of friendly. You catch somebody eye, you kind of speak, acknowledge them. In New York, man, they be moving so fast. Ain't nobody giving no small talk. Hey, how you doing? Or none of that. Oh, my mama.
Tucson Police Department for 6 years, qualifying as a SWAT operator.
That's where the brainwashing happened, probably.
Field training officer and public information officer. He then became a part-time YouTuber, going viral in 2016 and in 2017. He then started to support Donald Trump, and the rest is history. Looking at him now, he has 3 million subscribers. He's one of the most known black conservatives in America. And one of the reasons why Brandon Tatum is so big is not because he goes off on white liberals. He continuously
Never does that.
criticizes the black community.
Yeah.
He is, in my honest opinion, the black voice that says a lot of things that certain white conservatives are thinking. Brandon Tatum goes out of his way to insult black people, past or present, at any available chance that he gets.
Yeah.
And here's an example.
There is also this idea, when you think about Rosa Parks and what she did.
Oh, hell.
Everybody thinks she's so heroic.
I know this did not down talk Rosa. Auntie Rosa? Ancestor Rosa? Man, what the fuck he got to say?
Bro, Rosa Parks? You got a problem with Rosa? How can you have a problem with Rosa Parks, bro? Okay, let's hear what he says.
This idea, when you think about Rosa Parks and what she did, and everybody thinks she's so heroic, and I used to appreciate what she did and others did.
Yeah, she's a hero. What? Okay, let's hear it.
Started researching and finding out the truth. Do you know Rosa Parks never had a car?
And she wasn't in her car. She was on the bus. How you know it wasn't suffering from mechanical issues? How you know she wasn't trying to save money on gas? That's crazy. How you know she wasn't being humble and generous and allowing another friend or family member to utilize her car? This dude is coon work.
This nigga is so fucking stupid, bro.
Boy, y'all sit y'all stupid.
What does Rosa Parks having a car got to do with anything? How?
Stupid ass down. Who the think you is?
This nigga missed the whole fucking point of the boycott. He missed the whole point of Rosa Parks sitting in the whites only section. He don't seem to have a problem. It don't matter if Rosa Parks got a car or not. The problem was that she wasn't allowed to sit on the bus where white people were allowed to sit. It's that simple. Why?
In this particular instance, he said he used to have a lot of respect for Rosa Parks, but she had a car, so she didn't have to take the bus that day and basically be disrespected. So because she had a car, she deserved everything she got that day.
If anything, her having a car means she should be even more celebrated, because she's doing it just for the movement. She's doing it just to be the sacrificial lamb.
Exactly, for the cause, for the principle. It's about principle, integrity. This dude goofy.
Because you know whoever sat in that seat was going to reap all kinds of repercussions. This was the 1960s, sir. This was before social media. That's
honorable. It's called integrity when you relinquish the comforts provided to you to go suffer on behalf of others. Come on, bro. That's honorable.
Not an attempt to go viral and get clout and be seen as this here. This is literally a person putting themselves in harm's way just for the sake of taking a stand. She had nothing to gain and everything to lose. Come on, man. What a fucking clown.
On the bus when she refused to give up her seat for a white person. I mean, that is absolutely insane to think something like that. But when you hate black people like Brandon Tatum does, then you can say anything that doesn't make sense. But recently, Brandon Tatum has changed his commentary to become more global. And that's happened within the last month.
Let's see.
It really started on September 2nd when he posted something very controversial. I stand with Israel.
Why? Why?
Now,
Okay,
most conservatives, such as Brandon Tatum, or even the black or white conservatives, typically are against liberals of the LGBTQ. They have a problem with it. And also, you know, black on black crime and just the black community in general.
Right.
Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, and even people like Myron would all agree with that. But the difference that you're seeing now is that the black conservatives, or conservatives in general, are split with Israel.
Right.
Donald Trump stands also with Israel. But there are certain people like Candace Owens and Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit podcast who absolutely don't stand with Israel. Even certain
Well, I don't even want to get started on Candace Owens.
extreme whites like Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, they're definitely split down the middle, bro.
this was a particular
split.
change that folks started to notice in his content strategy. He then interviewed Prime Minister Netanyahu on his channel, and this is what was discussed.
In Israel, if you actually talk to the majority of Christians, talk to them, you'll see what they say. They say Israel is the only place where we're respected and protected.
But the part that really...
What is this?
I mean, black people, don't get caught up in the type of Christian you was raised up in being and all that. But you got to be very careful when you hear them throw this word around Christian and try to get sympathy when historically the Christians that they are have been horrible, horrible people to us in America. Oh, my. The Ku Klux Klan is their Christian organization traditionally.
This guy talking about what?
What's
You
in-
gotta be Christian just to be president in this country. What are you fucking talking about, dude? Christians are and respected and protected? I don't know what this dude talking about here.
Interesting was this one.
And I can attest to that as a Christian who went to Israel. I spent
They
2
must
weeks
he must not know what's inside the Talmud.
there with the church, and we had an incredible time. We had only one incident where a small child spit on one of the pastors, and immediately
Wow.
after there was an adult that came by and said, "That's not a representation of who we are. You know, we love you guys. You guys are always welcome here." And I have to say, no adults gave us any grief. We had no issues whatsoever.
Now, of course, children, this is learned behavior. So the children are learning this shit from adults. So this idea that children are just inventing racism in or anti-Christian sentiments in a culture that is actually very protective of Christians is complete and utter bullshit. Obviously, that kid learned it from someone. But furthermore, I wonder if pastors are getting spat on here in America. I promise you that ain't happening. Kids aren't walking around spitting on pastors.
And our experience there, it was actually an amazing experience.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the think you is?
Right.
So Tatum said he was there for 2 weeks, and it was an incident where a young kid spit on.
But this is how you know this nigga's so fucking stupid, bro. He's here trying to be a shill for Israel, having on Benjamin Netanyahu, having a conversation that he is not equipped for. He shouldn't be having this conversation. It was like when the Nelt boys spoke with him. You know what I'm saying? But he's doing the promoting Israel thing. All right, fair enough.
Not even realizing he is Israel. We are the children of Israel. They got him in a cold mix. Yeah, they fixed him up a good one. He thought he was part of their group.
So if you're going to do this and sell out and do it for the money, at least have some fucking sense, dude. Why would you mention that the pastor got spat on? Benjamin Netanyahu is like, we wasted our fucking money paying this guy off. What a fucking moron.
A Christian pastor. Now, from what I have researched, this is something that is not uncommon, meaning that it does happen to Christians when they go to Israel. And of course, if you look at the conservative movement, many of them align themselves with Israel because it's the home of Christianity. However, what I've been told is that certain Jews don't respect Christians at all because they view it.
This is not the home of Christianity, bro. That's Rome.
As it being a false religion.
That's where Christianity was
Jews
really
are still
born.
Waiting for the Messiah or believe the Messiah never came. And so that could never be Jesus Christ. All right. So now you have a disparity between Christians and Jews where Christians respect.
But I get it. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is from Palestine. He's from that area. So I get that.
Jews, because Jews are the foundation of Christianity. And then Christianity looks at Jews as not being legit. So this is why sometimes you get people being spit on.
I think he meant to say Jews look at Christians as not being legit
when they go to Israel. Now, once that happened, people really, really disliked Brandon Tatum's commentary with this. And also the fact that they felt that Brandon Tatum during this entire interview, that Brandon Tatum gave a softball interview to Netanyahu, not really answering a lot of tough questions. And whenever he did ask questions, it was already pre-made with basically a lot of bias towards Palestine.
Some of the news outlets are just pitching lies every day. The emaciated children with no rebuttal.
Let's see what Netanyahu says to this.
They're lying about a genocide. They're showing all these videos. That this is why I wanted to do this interview and get it out there, because I have not seen a legitimate video of some of the starvation claims.
So if you can see here, before
What? Tens of thousands of Palestinian children starving in Gaza tent camps. Bro, look at this. This is 2 weeks ago.
These are the cries of a child.
God.
Oh man, y'all should have blurred that out, man. Shh.
On the brink of death.
Oh my Lord.
Bones.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Look, as soon as I said blur, look, they blurring. That's crazy.
Skin and bones, this kid. This is where you can really see how bad it is. You know what I'm saying? Where the hip bones are. So children are starving in Palestine, man. I don't know. And you can just ask ChatGPT about this. Israel is causing that shit, bro. Israel is blocking it off. They're trying to starve them. It's sick.
he even allows Netanyahu to answer the question, he's already, pretty much protecting him from a negative response. He's saying, I haven't seen anything, that they have done. I don't see any emaciation. I don't see anybody doing this and that. So when Netanyahu responds, basically, he'll have an opportunity to address it very easily. Okay. And Netanyahu will respond that, hey, we've been at war with Iran and people have been attacking us. Basically saying that, hey, Israel is on the defensive and we don't do these things that people are saying. But Myron, who's reacting to the video, is going to point out this.
At these prisons, they torture the Palestinian guys. They them. They do horrible things to them, right, to demoralize them.
Right, yeah.
Some of it was caught on video, okay? When it was caught on video, obviously it went viral and it put pressure on the Israeli government to arrest the soldiers involved. When the police came to arrest the individuals that were graping these Palestinian prisoners, these crazy people broke into the military bases and tried to stop the soldiers from, tried to stop the police from arresting the soldiers. So in other words,
give us Barabbas. Give us Barabbas. It's not a new concept. It's happened before. Donald Trump is the president. He's a felon 30 times over. Give us Barabbas.
These guys are saying, yo, it's their right, prisoners of war. It's their right to do this to these Palestinians. They're protesting to push more grape.
So Myron is saying, allegedly, there's a video out where you had people in the Jewish military that were basically assaulting these Palestinian men and doing so by forcible clapping, right? And then when those guys got fired or arrested, they were trying to protect these guys. And if that video is out there and it's accurate, it would disprove that what Netanyahu is saying, that in fact, these things are happening, that Israel is doing at least certain things to Palestine that they don't want to take credit for. But the question is this, why is it that Brandon Tatum is getting involved in this in the first place?
This is actually one of the funniest stories that I've seen all week, okay? So this guy is a YouTuber who never used to talk about the Israeli regime, like literally not at all. And then out of nowhere, like a month ago, he started doing Zionist propaganda. And it's really weird. It happened to coincide around the same time that it was revealed that the Israeli regime was spending hundreds of millions of dollars on Hasbara, on influencers, and in the media, like Google, how they spent $50 million there in order to try to change the narrative, because people in the West, especially in America, not only oppose the genocide that the Israeli regime is carrying out in Gaza, but they're starting to have an unfavorable view of Israel in general.
So basically, Brandon Tatum is involved in what is known as Hasbara, okay? And so now Israel is spending a lot of money basically trying to get people back on their side. Netanyahu is doing a lot of interviews with a bunch of influential YouTubers. And so the idea is that Brandon Tatum all of a sudden is being paid a lot of money to basically push this pro-Israel narrative. And he's not doing it because he really believes it. He's doing it because he's been paid to do so.
Yeah.
And now this is where people are starting to call him out. Ian Malcolm says, it's so embarrassing seeing you bend the knee to Israel. Who ran the slave trade again? The officer Tatum.
It wasn't just the Jews, bro. The Jews, they insured the slave ships. Yes, they played a huge role, but I always hate it when these fucking white supremacists try to make it seem like their ancestors had nothing to do with slavery. They were as much victims of slavery as black people, and it was really just all the Jews. No, dude, all you got to do is research this shit. They all.
If they were complicit or participants to that degree, then why are they capable of standing behind the Holocaust as if they've been on the victim side and not on the villain side? I'm just curious.
All participated. They're all participants in the white supremacist scheme.
Ooh. This person goes, how much did they pay you? And that was a slur.
Right.
Then you start to see certain people come with a certain level of racism. This person goes, you are a sub-Saharan.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting because remember, Brandon Tatum has built his platform with a non-black audience talking about blacks. This is a part of his content strategy. Now, the minute that they don't agree with what he's talking about, now they're reminding him that he's a sub-Saharan. Basically, he's an African. Now, Brandon Tatum does not identify as an African. He is definitely going to claim the FBA or Black American lineage. But now what these whites are saying that disagree with him is that no, that you are a sub-Saharan African. So now what are we also seeing here?
Now, what do you do then? Try to convince them you aren't? I'm more like you than you understand. Please accept me.
Ian Smith Sr., you are an effing maggot.
Wow.
Right, with an M, but take off the M and put in another word, and then that's a slur.
Yeah, we know
right?
what they
You
say.
can guess what that is. Michael Ross says, bruh, you're not a Christian or God-fearing man. You are an effing scum B who loves blank in destruction. Thou shalt not kill. You're a hypocrite and a godless demon.
Damn.
Now then, what happened is,
I mean, let's not. Oh my God. This is the shit that kills me, man. Just look into the history of your religion. A lot of it's documented even in your book, man. Babies were slaughtered in the name of that God.
Tell them. God is a God of war according to Exodus. Yeah, so much bloodshed and then celebrated and rejoicing after the bloodshed. And you can put it all within context, but a lot of it was for issues similar to what's going on now. Just think about the popular story of David and Goliath.
Commanded by that God, right? And then, of course,
David was said to have cut Goliath's head off and everyone celebrated. Then, later on in the Bible, David was found to get himself caught up in a situation where he was being helping himself to another man's wife. Then the man of honor, when David tried to cover it up by getting him to go lay with his wife, he had too much honor to do that because he was currently out at war, and he said he had too much honor. He'd rather sleep on the steps of the palace than go home and lay with his wife while his soldiers was out fighting the battle. Then David put the man in position to lose his life so he can rightfully take the man's wife for his own and raise his child, and no one would be suspicious that he had done an adulterous act. David felt sorry for it. He prayed a prayer, I think it was Psalms 51, and I think it was in Psalm 52 or Psalms 53, and don't quote me, but it was very close to Psalms 51, where the Bible then declares David a man after God's own heart. Facts. Don't get in my comments and say, no, it said that because he repented. God has never had repentance in his heart. No need for it. On my mama, according to the scriptures.
just so many executions, dude. So many executions since the forming of the church.
I mean, the execution of Jesus himself is the main theme of the entire story. His blood, the blood that Jesus shed for me way back on Calvary. And they just think about what Paul did to the Christians. It's just all type of bloodshed associated with the story.
In the name of Christianity. But hey, listen. It's a, you know, whatever, fuck. I don't give a fuck.
After receiving all the criticism,
it's just
Brandon
silly.
Tatum doubled down.
It's just silly.
He posts this: keep going until the job is done. Now, even Myron gets involved, right?
The blood that gives me strength from day to day, it will never lose its power. Let me stop.
So Myron comments on X supporting the Jews as an L, Brandon. They're going to use you to push their Hespire, which is their agenda. You are dumb. Word to them, okay? Wake up, bro. Brandon says, bro, I have common sense, unlike you.
Woo! I have common sense, unlike you. This isn't a common sense issue. This is a understanding the situation issue. You know what I'm saying? You don't just wake up out of bed and know what position to take. You got to have your reasonings behind it. I just don't see anybody who even begins to educate themselves slightly on the history of Israel-Palestine and educates themselves on the various war crimes that are being committed. But don't just take the words of YouTubers. I mean, just take a look at this. I had ChatGPT compile me a list of all of the organizations and institutions that has labeled the assault of Israel upon Palestine as a genocide, right? I mean, you can just read it, pause and look. But here you can see we have the United Nations Human Rights Council report. The UN has even said that this shit is a genocide, bro. The UN. Bro, I have common sense. And that's the issue, man. It's no different than like with the Hodge twins. These people aren't very.
That's the Hodge. That's the ones I was talking about. Oh, my mama. See how they naturally came up in the conversation? Facts. They three of a kind. I wonder if they've created content together. They have had to. I just couldn't see that. They look like they cousin. The complexion, it all fits. They could be at Thanksgiving together, eating that potato salad with the raisins in it. Oh, my mama.
Intelligent, bro. They're not very smart. They're not highly educated. What it is that they got into an industry early. The black conservative guy shtick. They got into that early. They got a lot of fame and money, and it gave them the illusion of intelligence. They think they know what they're talking about, when all they're doing is just saying what the lowest informed conservative white person wants to hear. That's it. That's why they get paid. To just say what the lowest educated conservative white person wants to hear. That's it. If this guy were to debate Myron Gaines, Myron would fucking shred him to pieces, bro, on Israel. You know, I have my issues with a lot of Myron's positions on things, but that.
Yeah, Myron is a bona fide queerdo too.
I can guarantee you for sure.
We will debate soon enough. Now we start to see a lot of the racism coming towards Brandon from the whites. Tang Wang, this you, a chilling portrayal of a typical house in, right?
Yeah, right.
Sad music. I love Israel. They only spit on me once while I was there.
Got him! Got him!
Now then Brandon Tatum responds to a tweet that somebody made about him, or a repost, right? Look at this clown. They grew up in an empty building, and this little wussy's calling me a, well, let me just say, monkey for supporting it. a little dude who's been a fraud his entire life calling names. Stop it. This is Dan.
This nigga said, look at this. This is what Brandon said in response to Dan Bilzerian. And Dan Bilzerian is a fucking clown, but look at what Brandon says. Look at this clown. They blew up an empty building and this little wussy calling me a, what did he call him? I don't know what he called him for supporting it. A little dude who's been a fraud his entire life calling names. Stop it. Yeah, okay. This guy, is Brandon trying to make the argument that the bombs that Israel drops on Palestine hasn't killed any children? Is that what he's saying? Even if not a single innocent person is killed in the process of doing that, which, don't be stupid, of course, obviously. But even if that was the case, what happens when you displace all these people? They're going to get sick. They're going to get injured. They're going to die. They're going to suffer all kinds of horrible things. And a lot of these are innocent women and children. That really shouldn't have to be a qualifying factor for you to have some degree of humanity about you and some degree of empathy for people. But as a man and a Christian and a conservative person, right, that's got to mean something, right? When innocent women and children are suffering as a result of this means nothing to you.
I remember under that same banner of Christianity, they bombed women and children, burned their churches, burned crosses in their yards, and did all type of things under the same Christianity, bro.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Brazilian, and he says, cheering for deleting children isn't cool, you dumb primate or monkey.
Oh,
okay?
He called him a monkey. Yeah, Dan Bilzerian, he's a fucking clown.
Again, Dan Brazilian, hey, he hangs out with some black dudes like Myron from Fresh and Fit.
Right.
I mean, hey, listen.
Those kinds of black dudes, in quotation marks.
If you don't like what he's saying, again, that's cool. But then now you're calling Brandon Tatum a monkey, right? And then now this is something that, you know, we talk about racism, white supremacy,
yeah,
and how this don't really exist anymore. And now here's Brandon Tatum. He's getting it right from the fan base that basically he's built over the years.
Right.
They are now calling him these things, right? He's getting his Negro wake up call. Now, then he goes and he tries to defend himself also for his stance. He says, I also assume the kid did that because he thought we were Christians. However, I don't really know. We had regular clothes on walking around Jerusalem. He made a lucky guess. Thousands of people we were around and had no issues. We couldn't go nowhere near Gaza. Wonder why. This is
because Israel's bombing the shit out of it, and it's a fucking war zone.
Him blaming Palestine. And he also says the kid spat on the pastor who was with me, who had been to Israel over 40 times. Never had anything like that happen to him. No one spat on me.
Again, just him being an idiot. Why did you mention that? What was the point of you mentioning that? This guy truly is slow.
In America, a trans...
Like, you don't know. He don't even know how to shill properly, bro.
Blank will delete you and your kids for being Christians. So I could go on and on, but I'm not. There's just so many comments that's out there, but
they got Christian Palestinians, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? They'll delete you for being a Christian.
The reality is that Brandon Tatum basically received his Negro wake-up call.
Right.
Yeah, he did. And
don't mean he gonna wake up. Some sleep right through it, though. Facts.
It just goes to show you that the moment you start saying something that nobody likes in that community, they will start talking down on you. And I hope this is a lesson for Brandon Tatum. He might not get it, but like I said, if you have to keep selling out, and for the guys who thought that he wouldn't sell out, he already sold the black community out, right?
Oh, a long time.
He sold out the community a long time ago.
Yeah,
of course, Brandon Tatum will sell y'all out.
Right.
It just won't happen. So yeah, he sold out the black community, talking down on him all the time, making excuses. I used to at least be cordial with Tatum and like Tatum a little bit.
Yeah.
But he just did too much to get to the fame, and he went overboard. Do blacks have problems? Yes, but now he's getting what a lot of people feel like what he deserves.
Yeah, this man, he's wading into waters far too deep for him, man. He needs to back the fuck up out of this shit. before he drowns, if he got any sense, and just go back to the classics, you know, black people bad, black people scary, black man dangerous, white man good. You know, go back to that shit. That shit is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, easy money all day long. So yeah, this Israel shit, he's gonna lose a lot of his own fans off of this shit. But it'll make him a lot richer. So I guess it's a win in his eyes more than likely. But that was Officer Tatum finally receives his wake-up call. You let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching.
Getting hard trying to live in this land, Lord. I'm sick of paying rent, I wanna be the landlord. Not too many children in my section 8 last night. Lights out, they on section 8. We get constipated from that government cheese. Paying taxes, steady get a government cheese. Don't nothing change no matter who we vote for. So why waste time even going to try to vote for? When you grind so hard, you supposed to see profit. Why we so broke? We supposed to be prophets. We never had a choice on coming to America. I feel something real bad is coming to America. I don't write the mayor, they say I got a right to, but I don't even know where a nigga supposed to write to. I keep my chest up and head to the sky until the day I burn or head to the sky. There was many bad days. Lord, I've had hills to climb and sleepless nights. But when I look around and see what you've done for me, I say thank you, Lord, and I won't complain. I'm no devil, I know that I'm God's son, but I still smoke weed with my godson. And even though they say the woman is the backbone, we just wanna see them laying on their backbone. Thumb through the word, but you know what's confusing? Between the experts, it's so much confusion. I want it all, for all that I care about. I want a ball, that's all that I care about. Travel 50 states, broke 48 laws. Ran across a book called 48 Laws. Some say it's bad, some say it's a good book. I say it ain't got nothing on the good book. I ain't tripping on going to the motherland. On the other hand, I like to buy my motherland. What price can we all get peaceful? Stay at war and swear that we peaceful. What's wrong? Can't we all get along? Wanna buy a home, but can't get along. I'm trying to stay focused and write the right rhymes, cause these days everybody write rhymes. My uncle went to the rehab, hooked on morphine. It seems he came out even more fiend. Don't wanna see cuz die or blood bleed. We all lose every time black blood bleed. Holla Hail Mary, a light no candle, but I'm still trying to handle what I can do. I go hard for what I need, so it's ample. Watch me, you won't need no example. Crucial situation, my life in a crisis. Need to trade my life in for crisis. Please forgive me for what I did last night. I don't know, this might be my last night.
The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fed him well and even gave him a little education. Gave him a long coat and a top hat and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom to control them. The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man. He take a Negro, so-called Negro, and make him prominent, build him up, publicize him, make him a celebrity. And then he becomes a spokesman for Negro and a Negro leader.
Negro and that hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.